Welcome to the RETSY podcast. Today we have a special guest. My personal mental coach and business coach, Al Fuentes, has agreed to join us. We're going to go into the story and the mindset it took for myself to remove myself from a company that I had invested mentally 5 years into and start RETSY. I'll share a wealth of knowledge, and I'm super excited for you to learn from this amazing mental coach.
If you take your eye off the ball, if you don't stay focused in how you're feeding your business, even if it's just mentally that day, by thinking about what you want, thinking about where things are at, looking at what's going on, you will then start slipping and you start making micro decisions that take away from momentum, take away from progress. And it's the micro decisions are really where you're going to get the greatest effect, because there's a lot more opportunity for micro decisions than the macro or the major decisions. And these major decisions will happen, and pretty much people know how to show up for those, but it's all the tiny little thousands and thousands of micro decisions in a day that if people aren't paying attention to those are the ones that are going to create the real results.
Welcome to the RETSY podcast. We're really excited today. One of my favorite mental coaches that I've known for many years, who actually was coaching me during the start of RETSY, Al Fuentes, is in the room with us. We're so happy to have you with us, Al.
Oh, thank you so much.
Especially starting off the new year. This is such a great time to have you in the room. Get some of what's inside of your mind into our agents and our listeners' minds at the perfect time of the year. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, and I'd really like to start there, kind of the start of RETSY. And then also just a little for context, we're recording this on January 2nd. So a lot of people, myself included, set some New Year's resolutions yesterday or maybe on Wednesday. And this episode's going to be released about the 15th. So
about 80% of them will have failed by the time they listen.
Yeah, so by the time this comes out, a lot of people may have already abandoned those resolutions. So that's something I kind of want to pin for later too, and some of your input on that. But I really want to dig into the start of RETSY because I know that you were a big part of helping Chris with that.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, do you remember those days?
Oh, very clearly.
I mean, technically 5 years ago, right?
Yeah,
you were at your cabin when we had that very critical call about it.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, there was a lot to unravel on that call.
Yeah, well, I can summarize something if that's okay for you.
Totally.
Essentially, what I see and what I've always saw in you as we coached was you were always being kind of hitting a ceiling. And it wasn't a ceiling based on your own limits. It was based on the limits around you. And then trying to have other people with the current company you were at the time to see vision, a greater vision, where can we go? And being one smaller voice and amongst a group of people. And then there was this, yes, you have ownership, but no, you don't have ownership kind of feeling because you can't really make or affect change. And
exactly.
Yeah. And so for you were just like, you didn't know what you were going to do. You were in that space. It was like kind of the last straw of hitting this wall or this limitation. And that's when we started talking. And when I initially said, just start your own brokerage already, you were like, no. Do you remember that?
Well, it's like 5 years mentally invested in this company. And you're putting it very eloquently because I remember calling people names and like, can you believe what this person said to me? And it's like, but the reality is, you know, we just always knew it could be better. You know, and the tough thing is like, there's a lot of partners we had in that company that would have been on board for it, but there was always that one person holding the company back, you know? It was like, I mean, the greatest satisfaction I had is when I roll out of bed one day and I get some crazy early text saying, like, this company just sold to this company. And then finding out it happened kind of unilaterally without those partners even knowing, kind of justified everything that I had discovered and what we talked about and what could happen in the future. And that said, it was just like, it was full-blown justification for what we were talking about, what we did, and the motivation we needed to get, RETSY.
Yeah.
So.
And sitting there and having done so much work with you, just knowing how brilliant your mind was and how much you were forward-thinking, tech forward as well. Also, understanding what real ownership was meant to feel like and wanting to give that to the people around you.
Yes.
And that was really beautiful. And then you couple that with all it takes is one. All it takes is one person to kind of limit the greater whole.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is also why you're so very selective within your company, because it's critical for everyone to have the same frequency, the same mindset of general direction, support, a community. And so it's really cool to see. And we did some fun work through that time that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I did too.
But it was all about continuing to just hold that space for the greatness you already were. So.
Yeah. A lot of people have to realize mental coaching can be whatever you need it to be or want it to be or whatever evolves to. It's like, we can be talking about family at one moment, business at another moment. And, Al just has such a great way to kind of break down the thought process and then reassemble it and have you leave a call, sometimes emotional, sometimes like extremely motivated, and putting people into action. Because I feel like nowadays it's like getting people into action and keeping them in action is extremely difficult. But that said, the early days. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I know it was kind of cool to sit down with you today and be like, all right, so how we talked about this happening? and then we grew the company. I think we had what 60 agents we had Al come in to speak. Yeah, I mean, interest rates had just gotten jacked up. Home sales had kind of like hit the pause button. Luckily, we had all aligned with luxury agents in the higher price ranges. I think we average around $1 million, $4 million, $5 million. And that said, it's just like I brought you into the room. I'm like, Al, I need your help. I need you to talk to the entire crowd during one of our RETSY Roundup meetings. And I need to change their mindset. Right now, they're watching the news and believing it when they need to be the news for all their clients and for the public and what's really going on there, because every micro market has its own intricacies and every neighborhood changes every single month. 1 month it can be completely dry of inventory, and then 3 months later it can be flooded. And it's like you need to be that person, and you can't stick your head in the sand and be like, nothing's selling because interest rates are high, because that's the false narrative.
Yeah.
You can change price, you can make it a better deal, you can market it better. There's so many different things that you can do to still stay motivated. And we had a great talk. I mean, how many people called you after that? And
it was really cool.
Yeah, it was a great meeting. So,
I think with that though, what comes to mind is the fact that it is on us to drive the narrative. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we rely on all these other things. And Matt and I were talking about health just a little bit ago before we got on. And the way I like to describe my health and how I own it is I don't have a net underneath me walking the tightrope. It's like I have to make sure I stay balanced because there's nothing and no one to catch me from a health standpoint. So if I'm feeling this, I got to own it. What do I do? And I'm only natural, plant-based, herbal in any of my treatments. And so like there's a shift when you go, oh, like my wrist hurts or my back's tight. I don't even go to chiropractors. I like, what do I got to do to foam roll? What do I got to do to stretch? Everything is this level of it is on me to balance back out. When you take that then into the business space and you take that into the market as a realtor, it's this concept of like whatever the noise is, it's on me to drive the narrative. It's on me to guide people. I can't rely on this stat or this report or anything else. And a lot of those reports are negative, by the way. But to be a realtor in this space, especially on the luxury end, when you're dealing with a lot of big energy people, successful, and they have their own mindset of driving, to hold the mindset and the energy to be equal with them, it takes a lot. And if you're not owning yourself in your personal life, if you're not owning yourself in the business and owning the narrative in yourself and then owning the narrative of the market, it's really tough to be at the level with your client, especially in the luxury market. And so that is something I feel like isn't worked on, understandably so, because these things aren't taught to us. So to work on that, to be in this space where, like, what does it functionally mean to own not only my truth, to own this greater level of mindset, even coaching, because I think realtors, they're coaches, to their clients, they're advisors, and a lot of them will just kind of play second to the person, and it has to be an equal exchange. And at
the most respected agents, it is an equal exchange.
That's right. Yeah.
Or a coaching position. The reality is, if your client takes control and is telling you how to do your job, you know what they're saying to all their friends.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one thing I feel like, that level of ownership where you can't or don't think about relying on anything or anyone else. That's a shift of mindset. And if you can get that, man, you become really unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm excited. So we, when I call it the mental penalty box when interest rates went up, because it did slow down the market. I mean, the reality is people hit the pause button on some things when interest rates shot up. You used to be able to borrow money at 2.5%, 3%, and then now it's 8%. And what does that do? And how does that shock the economy? And the reality is exactly what we happened turned out. I mean, the market had its ups and downs. And then, of course, we were coming out of that COVID period. So, I mean, that actually the false or the increase in buyers wanting to buy with interest rates going up still kind of helped to balance it. So everything was in balance. But that said, it's like we were put into the penalty box. What's great is we're going to have you speak at our next roundup, not rendezvous, roundup. Rendezvous are weekly. Roundups are only 4 times a year, and one of them is our Christmas party. So we have 3 major meetings, and this is like the coming out of the penalty box period. Rates are starting to drop. Inventory is still kind of high, but it usually is in December. And I mean, we're forecasting like one of the strongest 2026s, or one of the strongest years we've seen in real estate in the last 5 years this year.
Yeah.
And
I feel truly it won't matter what rates do, because people are just tired of waiting.
Exactly.
Yep.
So they really kind of like, let's check, let's see what's going to happen. And now they're just like, I'm done. Especially in the luxury market, they can afford to just do what they want to do.
Yeah.
And now that the market's fairly balanced, no one's waiting anymore.
Well, it's funny because we actually have a mutual friend that I have a little note in my calendar every year. I call him and remind him how home prices still haven't gone down in the neighborhood he wants to live in. Like 7 years ago, he's like, I'm just waiting for home prices to come down, right? Every year I have like the reminder come up in my calendar, and I call him and I'm like, prices are actually up 7% this year, or 12% this year, even 3% like in 1 year. And he even said, okay, I'm just done renting. Like, it's time to buy. They didn't even ask me what the interest rates were, what it's going to take to get a loan, this and that. It's just kind of like he's just done with being done that way. Like, he wants to buy a house. And I think more and more people are going to feel that way too. So going into this selling season, because I mean, our selling season theoretically starts right around mid-January. People are out of the whole Christmas spending sprees, and then it's like, and then it goes a little dormant early January, and then mid-January it kicks in. And then, Barrett Jackson comes to town, the horse show, like spring training, and it's just like things liven up and things just start selling.
Yeah.
So we're going into the perfect time for our agents.
Yes. And it's also
the real estate enthusiasts.
It's the perfect storm for distraction too, with all those things you mentioned, from Barrett, from the Open, Super Bowl, all the things that happen. It's a really interesting time. I watch it, and I watch realtors get distracted with all the fun activities and events and don't stay focused. I do believe it takes a balance of both, and that discipline that you have, I've already talked about a little bit, but like waking up every morning, seeing your vision, feeding your business on a daily basis in simple ways, some days, and big ways other days, depending on what it is. But if you take your eye off the ball, if you don't stay focused in how you're feeding your business, even if it's just mentally that day, by thinking about what you want, thinking about where things are at, looking at what's going on, you will then start slipping, and you start making micro decisions that take away from momentum, take away from progress. And it's the micro decisions are really where you're going to get the greatest effect, because there's a lot more opportunity for micro decisions than the macro or the major decisions. And these major decisions will happen, and pretty much people know how to show up for those. But it's all the tiny little thousands and thousands of micro decisions in a day that if people aren't paying attention to those are the ones that are going to create the real results. And so, and you kind of joked earlier about by the time this comes out, half the people will have forgotten their resolutions. I like to think of them as lifestyle changes, not resolutions. And then also to not only drip those in a micro way, but it's really about who do I want to be, or how do I want to be in my life? And then that's in business, and then that's in your personal. But here's the challenge. If you're not sitting every day programming and making that a priority in both the back brain and the front brain, even if your front brain is small in your focus, if you're not programming it in on a daily basis, you're inevitably going to get it pulled away from you, because there's way too much other stuff happening in just your own brain, the world out there, just how life comes at us. There's 1,000 things that can pull you away. And so who is the one going, hey, how is this important? What matters? How do you want a vision? How do you want to see? What do you want to still make a priority? And that's programming every morning. So...
yeah. Well, I think, you talking about it is just like every decision every day, like from getting off the call, rushing down here. It's like I walk into our pantry and it's like my son's got friends over, so they have the Bosa donuts on the counter, and then there's bananas. Like,
which one did you choose?
I chose a banana.
Yes.
Like, you know me. Like, yeah, and then eating more apples now, believe it or not. But I never really liked apples until now. But that said, it's just like making those decisions, but also keeping yourself disciplined. Mm-hmm. And that's like the biggest difference between, you look at some of our most successful agents, they're just so disciplined in what they do and how they do it, their consistency and emails going out. Look at Lisa up north. Look at Roco and how they run their team and their posts that go out. All the way down to obviously we're shooting this just after New Year's, so we have a tradition with some really good friends of ours that are also neighbor of ours. We always go over and we talk about like what's your goal for next year, or what's the New Year's resolution. Keep in mind we're doing this over red wine, so like, you got to give some places, but it's just like we went through, and it's like, and Kelly, she gave her goal of running this and doing this, and Jay gave his goal of like focusing more on a company he purchased, and Steph's like, I just want to do a handstand. Like, I've always wanted to learn how to do one, right? And then they're like, Chris, what was yours? And I was like thinking, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I usually just, like, I write them down, I mentally do it. I'm like, I know. And Jay's like, I remember perfectly. He's like, bring on agents the way you do it. And he's like, start a podcast and get the magazine wrapped up. What are we sitting on right now? What episode is this?
33.
Starting about podcast, realized more 99.9% on Matthew, so we're not going to take credit away there. But there was a little bit of, like putting it out in the universe, knowing that we had to do that. The reason why I gave you that magazine there, it's kind of like that's the start of something great.
Yeah.
Like we're improving upon it too. But it was just like Jay remembered exactly like what my 3 major goals were for the year, and I accomplished them without even realizing I had mentally programmed myself to accomplish them and like drive them. Like Sydney's in the room and she knows it's like I always peck at it. It's like, okay, when's the latest version of the magazine going to be updated? When is this going to be updated? Okay, and Matthew's like, all right, we got to shoot these podcasts on this day. We're blocking this out. So it's like I have the team around me that support and help us get this done.
Yeah.
And we're getting great traction on everything across the board. But it's like, I remember that previous company. It's like, I'd want something done on year 1 to be year 5, and they haven't even figured out an idea of an implementation plan to even get it done.
Yeah.
So even though things don't happen as fast as I like, it still gets done.
Yeah. It's been really cool to watch RETSY evolve and be, honestly, the premier brokerage in a really cool way. And you can feel it. Yeah. It's a really cool thing to watch in such a short amount of time.
we got to have you to the Christmas party next year.
Yeah, I don't know how I got disinvited to Friendsgiving and Christmas. I don't know what I did.
Didn't happen this year.
Oh, okay.
Kelly and I decided Cabo sounded better. But,
can't blame you there.
But that said, no. Oh my gosh, we got so much to catch off of Mike. But one of our mutual friends lost his wife. Mm-hmm. You heard about this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good motivating factor. There's Friendsgiving, like we kind of took it over, but it was kind of a flop. So we got the opportunity through like Forbes and something. We have an opportunity to try out one of their new resorts. The only time we could do it is Thanksgiving, so we didn't do it this year. But not making excuses, but next year at the Christmas party, it's like I think it'd be awesome to have you there just to like look around the room, meet what we've done, who we've been there. Because, I mean, you were involved since the beginning also.
Yeah.
Every implementation. So,
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
This is just a really, first of all, I'm really grateful because I just go in a cool way. I put my head down and go, and and I tell people all the time, if I don't reach out to you, don't take it personal. I'm being very present in the moment with whoever I'm holding space for and whatever I'm doing. So it's always when I think back and I start reflecting and we're sitting here today talking about the journey, it's just like, it is pretty cool to see on both sides. And it kind of moves me a little bit to just feel the magic of it all. So.
Yeah. Well, and it's like you think back to some of the programming and stuff we worked on with me and this and that, and it's like still hike the mountain 2 to 3 times a week. Now I'm doing it with the vest company that you endorse.
Yeah.
What's it called? Aion or Aion?
Aion. Yeah. That was a fun project because I had a high net worth client who I'd been working with for like 14 years, and he wanted to do this thing. And so I lived in Asia for a while, and so I said, hey, whenever you're ready to go to Asia, let me know. I'll go set up camp and just observe or oversee things. And then it kind of turned into, it turned into watching how the direction of the vest and where it was going and going, let me see what I can create. And when I hold space for people, I talk to them about not only the endless possibilities, but it has nothing to do with where you're at or what you think you know today. It's about what you can vision for this greater possibility for you as a future, which is where we talk about RETSY today. And to me, that already existed during that first talk. That already existed. All you had to do was climb the mountain to get there. It's not, when you look up at Camelback or any of these mountains, they exist. You're not trying to figure out how to build the mountain. I don't believe you were trying to figure out how to build RETSY. I just believe you were taking the steps every day to get to the mountain that was already there. And it's still going, which is a cool thing. For me, the vest was the same thing. And so I love stepping into these places where I can walk the walk and not just from this side hold the place of coaching. So I'm like, yeah, I can do this. And so I took the concept he had. I went and found a local seamstress. And I said, here's the materials, here's the shape, here's the design. And I sat in meditation and I felt, and I just visualized the vest on me. I visualized how it was meant to move, where it creased, and then I just designed it all out. I took that to her, and I thought about the materials that I thought were necessary. And then I had her build the vest. And then I took it to him at this big introductory meeting in LA. And it was this vest and another vest that someone else had designed. And they're just like, this is it. And
so you designed the original concept.
I designed the original, and then and it was based off of his prototype. So there was some components that I took from that, but as far as shape, style, design, that was all from me. And then both women's vests, which are the first in the market to be custom fitted women's vest. One's a crop top weighted vest. Another one's a full length women's, designed for women. Those are from scratch, just from that same vision of what I believed made sense, just like what you do with RETSY.
We're going to have our editor put in what we're talking about in the way of vests, because people are thinking cool. Like tuxedo vests. I mean, we're talking weighted vests.
Weighted vests.
But not overly weighted.
Fractional weight.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's a game changer. What I found, I don't know that I even really... Well, first of all, when I ordered it, I mean, it showed up in like 2 days, presented in a beautiful box. Like, I care about like the details, right? And it fits so well. Like there's no pinch points. There's not the weird thing on the seams where it's like you start to feel like the tag or anything anywhere. But what I loved about it is like I'd use it a lot, and it definitely made the hikes up Camelback harder. But like some days you just wake up and you're just like, I don't feel into this, but I know I got to get it done. I'll leave the vest behind. And I feel like I can get up that mountain so quick that I'm like, oh shoot, maybe I should have brought the vest with me.
Yeah.
I get a lot of comments on the vest too. Like, what's the brand? Where'd you get it from? All that stuff. Do you like it? The way you guys put the weights in the padding and stuff. I mean,
That
it's
was
incredible.
that was all what I had visioned out.
Yeah.
We'll have to get your wife one as well. And but the thing was for me now, I literally not only designed and I sought out manufacturing. I found the manufacturing to do it. I had to think through everything you talked about. How does it feel? Where is it meant to fit? And design.
I haven't seen yours, but I see the ads at Lifetime every day.
Yeah, we're in Lifetime now, and it's cool.
And black.
Yeah, so it's a really fun thing to be able to walk the walk in that way of just what I tell people. It's not about where you think you are. It's about what you're capable of if you really allow yourself to unlimit the possibilities of your mind and what you can do. And so, yeah, so I've fully stepped away from all the design work. For the most part, they asked me to work on a special project for them, and I'm working on a little something, but it's just on the side. I'm fully back into coaching now, but that took a lot of my time, and it was so beautiful, and really happy to be back coaching full time as that started January of 25. But yeah, I get to look and see the ads. I see what we're doing, and having ownership in the company, having the ownership in those designs. It's been really, really fun. I'll have to get you one too.
That's very cool. Yeah, I had no idea you were that involved in them. I knew there was a connection. Chris had mentioned something.
I mean,
but
following you on Instagram and seeing that, and then one of my buddies got one, and I'm like, geez, this is nice. Like, I mean, and they're more expensive than regular vests, but I mean, like, if you intend on using it, like, it's worth the investment.
Yeah, you know? It's something that it lasts.
Oh
it's very low maintenance. It fits like a glove, and the results of it are just fantastic. So,
what did you guys put in it so that it, like, I mean, I'll probably rinse mine once every week or 2 weeks, but like it does not smell like, and I sweat like crazy in that thing.
It's the material we use is antimicrobial, and so every aspect within the material is designed to be able to handle all of that. Yeah,
it's like I literally put it on the back seat of my Rivian to lay it out so it can dry out. And like you'd expect my car to smell like a science experiment after a week, but it really doesn't. Like it's incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that I know the psychology on wearing, like maybe you could break that down for everybody, like wearing a weighted vest while working out or doing different things. Bri got one, Peter got one, and I'm like using Brian's wife's like over the neck one that's twice as heavy as theirs. And I'm like, what am I doing? I need to get one of these. So I just and they knew that yours was the best, so I just ordered that one.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, if we can take the psychology of all of this and just put it into business, and essentially to me, there's a lot of physical health benefits to the vest. Fractional weight, it allows you to stay in great posture, great position.
Yes.
The compression allows your body's autonomic process to react to it, tightens the core. And then the heat component allows you to detox. Those are the actual functions from a physiological aspect.
I can verify, check, and check.
Yes, but the mental, everything we do is about feeling like you have an edge. And in life, we're looking at all these things that are taking away from who we are and what we're doing. Matt, I've been really enjoying watching your journey over the years of your health. And I know that that's mentally giving you a feeling or an edge of like, okay, like I can do anything or I can do more, right?
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt.
Yeah. And what's cool about that is the vest gives you this mental edge. And even if you don't have one in your realtor, it's about what are you doing daily? What are the supplements you're taking that you are instilling like I am going above and beyond? What are the workouts you're doing? I work out every day. And I just finished this year. In 2024, I only did 95% because I have an app that tracks this. And then last year, I did 100% of the year.
Which app do you use to track?
Zones. Yeah. And so there's these little things that I do daily. My shake in the morning, that's really elite. It has some of those ingredients I talked about. Like if
you want a Fuentes shake, I still have the setup.
Yeah. He knows he knows about the shake.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you I mean, everything, mental clarity, I mean, everything.
Yeah, I'm 51 years old. I just did this function health blood test, and it marked me at 41, which I'm kind of pissed about because I think I'm younger than 41. But it says my biological
you're in better shape than most 30-year-olds.
Yeah, my biological age is 41. And I only did the test. I already knew what I was, but I wanted to do the test to, again, put my money where my mouth is. And so there's that. I'm vegan. I'm 51. And my test is 829. My free testosterone is like 150. I don't know what it is, 150 or something like that. Yeah. Like everything I do as a part of these fundamental things in my day are about getting me a mental edge. If I choose my shake, I'm choosing me. If I choose the vest, I'm choosing me. If I choose the supplements, I'm choosing me. And for whoever, male or female, doesn't matter what industry, but in this case, as a realtor, the question is what are you doing in the small choices to feed your eliteness, to feed your edge? And it can be yoga. It could be a walk. It's not about the intensity. It's about the choices that feed you. And that's really what the vest means to me in that practice.
Yeah. I found that, I mean, you can do it working out in the basement. You can do it hiking the mountain. I call it the Arcadia House Husbands Walk. It's like the only 3 guys in Arcadia that are out walking in the morning during normal business hours, but we make commitments to our friends and we do it. And I mean, but anytime but honestly, like I'd go up and down the mountain and I barely have a little bit of sweat on my shirt, but I take off that vest and I'm like basically wringing my shirt out. Yeah. It's pretty incredible. The thermo and then also the weight. And then also on the days that I just don't feel like 100%, leave the vest behind. I'm up and down the mountain. I still get the workout in, but you know, it just like I feel better, you know?
Yeah. So this edge thing is really important across the board. And again, what are we doing on a daily basis? And if you think about resolutions, those are typically, you're resolving something, which is typically an issue, versus if I want to think about a lifestyle change, what are the things that can do that? And if you then add, what can I choose to give me an edge on a daily basis? That already puts you in a place where you can be stronger than the noise out there. And then you add to it with your actions, your phone calls, your texts, your CRM. I know you have great technology. And not everyone uses it, right?
No, we try to.
Yeah. But the fact is what you've done and how you've curated the business is amazing. And if people just really work the technology, work the resources, and then let all of that from a mindset of this is a way of life. That's what a lifestyle change is. It's just a way of life. And then all of these things are a part of me, my edge every day. That's the key to me.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I was gonna kind of drill down into when you were talking about micro decisions. I mean, those are some great examples of one. But when you were initially talking about it, I was thinking about it like as like somebody that used to be an agent when I was producing. Just like those decisions of texting that person back right away, not like, oh, I'll call them back or I'll text them back later. Like just those little things kind of make a huge difference in an agent's business. Or I'm going to go post that just listed on social media and then making that decision not to then scroll for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And next thing you know, it's an hour.
Yeah.
Like, could you give some other examples of micro decisions like agents should be kind of cognizant of, I guess would be the word?
Well, first I would say to start to break down your day so that you can understand like what opportunities for decisions that you have, because everyone's going to feel or be different. But if you aren't taking time just to go, okay, what are the typical things I do every single day or could do every single day? And And then you look at, what do I want to then curate for my week? Open houses, and whether you're sitting them or you're finding somebody to sit them, because either way, it's about you're getting your customers and your clients served in those ways. Then you start backing up to all of these little choices. But it is supplements that so many people are missing the boat on something as simple as supplements, because we just can't get enough nutrition from our food, no matter who you are or what you're doing. So to properly supplement with whole food base. So to wake up every day and to think about what serves me this morning. I mean, we all brush our teeth, ideally, take showers. Those are way of life things. So how do we transition some of these other personal fundamental things? Some simple movement every morning, if it's just stretching. And we're talking 2 to 5 minutes. We're not talking some crazy amount of time to dedicate. But micro decisions are about getting up, sitting, creating some space to think about the decisions you want to make mentally. Do some simple breath work. Then from there, it's about then choosing some movement, move your body, get the blood flow, get the chemicals moving around so that you can feel this internal inspiration. And it's an act of love and honor to your body. So then the supplements, the movement or the stretching is choosing yourself, choosing this greatness in you. And then you go, okay, now do I have my time blocking for emails, text message, follow-ups to clients, all the different things that I'm doing. Maybe some people are creating their own content. So it's about, what am I doing to do that? Maybe it's just about writing scripts for your content. Everything is designed around what is important to me, both in my personal life and my business. And some of that, I'll talk to clients and it'll be like, okay, you don't have much time to work out and you don't have much time to spend with your kids. So you kind of have to pick or choose. Some clients are like that, understandably so. What about a workout while playing with your kids? Doing some planks and having them climb on you, laying on the ground and literally just pushing your kids up in the air. I've seen this, and I'm telling you what, the kids, not only do they build some idea of health within that, but they just love it. And so there's so many ways to do micro decisions. Drinking enough water is a micro decision. Scheduling when you're planning on going to bed versus just letting it be random. Like, that's something you probably recognize. Like, sleep is not only sleep, but then being deliberate about when you go to sleep. Like, I have alarms set for things because I want to stay on track, and I use technology to benefit me in keeping on schedule. And I don't feel imprisoned. I don't feel like intense around it. The alarms are there so I don't have to think about anything. Yeah. I don't have to sit there and be in my head about, am I doing everything? I just let this work for me based on having technology work for me. So even scheduling bedtime is a part of that.
Yeah.
I like that idea of a bedtime alarm. Like, I hadn't thought about that.
Your phone automatically does it for you. It's like, hey, it's like 10 o'clock. It's time to wind down for 30 minutes. Like,
and I have mine lockout apps.
Yeah.
I have it lockout Instagram, lockout Facebook, YouTube. YouTube was my one. YouTube's easy to just get on the shorts. Watching the shorts. Yeah. So I know and that's the other thing. I'm a beautiful human just like anyone else. I don't feel like I'm any better at this than anyone. I just do a really good job of countering my own humanness, which wants to do nothing, which wants to scroll endlessly on socials or YouTube, wants to just watch shows. Yeah. My humanness doesn't want to do the things I do. Yeah. Even what I eat. If I just left it up to my human programming or the collective human consciousness, I wouldn't eat what I eat. I would eat like shit, basically. Yeah. So, but it's just about having enough focus every day to counter and listen to a greater voice that's saying what honors you and what'll be more fun in the long term. And so all the decisions I make are for longevity, are for greatness, are for an overall abundance and happiness. And I never feel, if I know that, I never feel like I'm taking away because I can't, or I don't have this, or I don't have that, or because I'm going to bed early. I personally feel like I have to go to bed early. I want to. It's not a have to, it's a want to, but sometimes I have to say, yo, you got to do this. Like, this is a part of you. Think about everything you're doing. So that's the other thing when you're choosing micro decisions. If you feel, and this is where resolutions can get a little prison-y, like you feel like you're punishing yourself or you're in prison when you're in these limited resolutions, it's because you feel like you're taking away from the human experience or life, versus saying no to these things that don't serve you is really saying yes to your greatness. And when I shifted my mindset there, I don't feel any limitation, any doubt. I don't feel like I've lost anything in the human experience because of how I feel, what I get to do, and where I get to go every single day.
It's so well put. Trying to think with our agents, it's taking this but implementing it in your life, health, fitness, business. Speaking from the business standpoint, I mean, one thing that I always harp on our agents is staying in touch with their past clients, their sphere, meeting new people. We're in an industry where you wear a RETSY shirt anywhere and somebody makes a comment, right?
I wear mine, by the way. I wear them.
I know, we've seen it a couple times on Instagram.
Yes.
We got to get you the latest versions and colors and stuff.
I thought, I'm a product pimp. Like, I'll pimp anything out for anyone,
For representing. But I mean, it's so true. We're in this industry, and it's like a lot of our agents, they don't even realize they're doing what I'm telling them to do, even though they're not doing it the same way. Like I'll drive by a past client's house, right? And I'm like, well, I haven't reached out to him in a year. So I shoot him a text. House looks awesome. Thinking about you guys. Hope you and Allison are doing great, right? And then send it off, right? And it's just like you're touching them, letting them know you're still here, right? We have our digital ads online. They see, they like, and all that stuff. And but that said, it's just like reaching out to the past clients. Their sphere is so important going into this new year. Even on like one of our email tools, it'll just tell you who opened the emails. And I pulled a couple deals out of just reading who was opening my emails and reaching out to them.
Yeah.
And just staying present to that. It's just like, I do that by nature, like just because we do it. I mean, like, for example, take like one of our partners, Shauna, right? She plays tennis. I'm not going to give her enough credit or too much credit, but I think like 3 times a week. And what she doesn't realize is when she's out there wearing a RETSY shirt, it's like she is like engaging with their sphere of influence. They're going to ask her about real estate. Or we played our rattlesnake round. I think the gentleman's name was Joel. And he's like, "You're Chris with RETSY." And I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Laura sold my house." I'm like, "Which one?" He's the one on 54th. I'm like, "The Bentnell's house." I'm like, "Yes, I know the house." And it's just like, it was this engaging conversation of like, all right, we're talking to our sphere, right? Now that's Laura's client, who I am happily reporting that I did beat in the rattlesnake round. But that said, they were just incredible guys to play with because it just brings down the barrier. After hole 1, awkwardness of everybody tees off and we're in a competition, it's just like you start talking about RETSY and work and what do you do? And then, they're engaged and they're thinking about that. But the beautiful thing is everything I said about Laura during that round he's going to constantly think about Laura whenever his friends are asking about real estate, right? So you make those connections and you embed them.
I think, too, there's a couple things there. One, the email, and I want to talk about that, but just being out and about. A lot of realtors feel like they almost don't want to say what they do because everyone's a realtor, or there's this kind of mindset, or they don't know how to say it and not sound salesy or not sound like this trying to like tell people like, hey, in case you're interested, whatever. But what I've seen you do and the best do, they speak about real estate and what they do as part of who they are, and it's about it's part of their passion. It's part of their who they are as a person. And when a realtor can think of it that way, because this business is a reflection of you. It's a very tough business because it's a mirror. And if something's not working out there, it's not about the market. It's what's not working in here. It's hard for some people to admit that or work on that. And some people don't know where to go to get the support in that. And that's something that it's been great to hold that space for people. But it's a mirror out there. And so if you're sharing from a place of this is a part of me. It's not just what I do, it's who I am. That's a big piece. And then with that comes the passion. And then you add RETSY, the actual company you work for, and then everything you guys represent. It's just a win-win-win. And for anyone who's doing it from this, I can't wait for somebody to ask me, because I'm so excited to share who I am with people. And when realtors can make that shift, the natural everyday life that they get, it becomes their opportunity to get business without trying to get business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are in a touch, I guess, a full contact sport.
Yeah.
The more touches you get, the more business you get. But
and then the email thing.
Yeah.
To speak on that, again, the technology's there. But what I see realtors do, and any of the realtors that I coach, and I do coach a lot of high production realtors. Like I have either typically I have all three levels: people starting out that want to like get to that, people in the middle that want to go to the next level. But I still have a lot of high producing agents, and some agents, 3 agents had their best years in 25, and before that they had their best year in 24. And so it wasn't about market, it was about mindset. Mm-hmm. So, but it's surprising still when I see realtors not taking advantage of email in the way that they can. Mm-hmm. Because here's what society or social media has done to us. Social media has programmed our brains to become more familiar with people than we really are. Like, we don't know each other very well, Matt, but I know you and I know your journey because of what you've been beautifully sharing on socials. Now my brain is programmed for anyone, and I'm aware I'm programmed this way, is like I'll know people more than I really do. And because social media has trained me, and secondly, I'm interested in the personal things. And again, most people are. And so that's why when you post, oh, sold this, versus just posting yourself, the one that where you post yourself, your family, the Christmas picture, whatever it is, always gets way more activity than just the real estate product stuff. Yep. So the thing about emails is we're sending out emails as realtors typically. Here's the market. Here's what's going on. Here's the latest and greatest. Here's what happened in your area, whatever that is. And some of that stuff may be pertinent, but quite honestly, if you did none of it and you had an email where you had a chance to just say, hey, here's what I've been up to as a person, went on this trip, here's a cool picture from it, been really grateful, being consistent in my business, been really happy with the growth that I've been on. How have you been? The engagement like triples with people, not just the opens, but the engagement triples, because people are like, oh, I've been doing this, and it creates that connection. And it's different than socials for 2 reasons. One, it's more intimate, but 2, you get to control who sees it. And when you post, you can't control who sees it. Yeah. They may or may not see it based on the algorithm. But an email, they're always going to get your email. So that's your chance to extend what is a personal touch in your socials into email. And it always performs way better than doing here's the report and here's the latest.
And I think we're going to spend a little bit of time on our email tool at the roundup, because I've had a few of our agents that are like, they love it because it's like you can select a property, select a 1 mile radius, and it'll use an AI algorithm to identify what agents should receive that email. So you're not like emailing some agent in Williams, Arizona, a $10 million house in PV, right? Mm-hmm. So it's relevant marketing. But I remember one of our agents was like, okay, well, like, so what do I do now? I'm like, when did you send the email? He's like, yesterday. I'm like, okay, open up the email, look at who looked at it, and take the top 10 people. I mean, he had clients, agents, people that clicked on it like over 9 times. Besides hitting the delete button, when do you click on an email 9 times, right? Like if you have a client interested, or maybe you're interested. It just kind of gives them the structure of like, if you can just work this into your daily routine of like touching base with your past clients, your sphere. We're doubling down on geographic farming this year with our agents. So nice. And those of you who don't know what geographic farming is, it's like branding an agent to a specific neighborhood and mailing to it, online fencing them, showing them ads online in their mailbox. And these agents are going to be responsible for being the data aggregate. So their clients in that neighborhood are not getting the news from the news. They're getting their news from somebody who is breaking down that specific neighborhood. Mm-hmm. and these are the tools they're going to use. And it's just like, if they can make those little changes in their business, they're going to see their bank account balance go up, right? There's some changes they can make in their life. And it's funny, is like, as we're breaking this down, I want to talk about so many things we've talked about that I'm like, oh, by the way, like, bought a cold plunge, and oh, by the way, I saw it every day. It's like all the stuff that we talked about, where it's like, I never had the opportunity to do back when we started working together that we do nowadays. We're overdue for a catch-up call.
Yeah.
Let's just say that offline.
Yeah, those are great too, especially when they're really specific. That's that edge that I feel your technology can do for people, and you can balance that out along with some just, hey, here's what I've done, here's what's up. People really want to cross that barrier of just like this arm's length transaction into a connection. And that's how you get referrals, is through that deeper connection. That's how you get businesses, through the deeper connection. And what people may not understand is, as a realtor, you're going into their home, you're going into their finances, you're going into their intimacy. You are crossing a lot of barriers one way. And then how are they crossing barriers? So if you open up a little more, share a little more, do a little more on your side, it equalizes that bond versus it being kind of a one-way bond. You're connected to them, and you know the house, and you know the street, and you know the thing, but how connected are they to you for the next deal, or for the piece of advice they're looking for? If they feel more comfortable, if they feel like they know you more, and emails and socials can do that for you, like, that's a lot of work right there that you don't have to do just by opening yourself up a little bit more.
Well, I think it's funny. I want to touch on that a little bit. So in 2022, I prior to that, I wasn't very active. In 2022, I made a commitment to my health and started getting active again. And then in 2023, I set a challenge for myself. I wanted to work out and go do something for at least an hour, 250 days. And so at least 5 days a week and take 2 weeks off type of thing is how I backed into that math. And so I'd posted my stories every day, 1 of 250, 2 of 250, 3 of 250, so on and so forth. And what was really interesting to me in that year, I had more past clients and stuff reach out to me. And there's opportunities for me to give, because I don't produce anymore. I don't sell. I just manage. But I had more referrals go out to RETSY agents because people, past clients, friends were reaching out, just because of that personal. I was very, very visible. And prior to that, I didn't do a good job with social, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I was not,
you and me both, by the way.
Yeah, I was not very active on social, but I did find that very interesting. I was remembering
that's the proof,
that, yeah,
right?
As you were talking about that, I remembered that year I was getting those reach outs, and a few RETSY agents, you know who you are, got referrals of past clients of mine that year. Because I'm not active out there anymore, but obviously we can still help.
Yeah, and that's exactly, it's hard because some people are like, well, I'm not comfortable with that, or that's not me, or I'm not sure if that's, I just know the psychology of it from being an expert in this space. I've been doing this now personally for over 20 years, professionally for, I guess, since January 1st. It's 19 years I've been coaching, and I've gotten to do a lot of things and work with a lot of amazing people. And so for me, I look at it from the psychology piece, which also then backs into the kind of the business coaching, because I do business coaching within my coaching with agents. But it's why, and for the agents that, thank you for that, because that might push some people over the edge to feel more confident or comfortable, or have a real life example that backs into that. I have plenty with my clients, but they're just listening to me. Who am I? They may not know me that well.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, like, the high-end athletes you work with and all that stuff. I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about any of them, but I did watch that documentary that was kind of like a remake of Anthony's life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that. I mean, that's incredible.
That's a public one because he wrote about me in his book.
Okay, he did. Okay.
He's talked about me, and there's a testimonial on my website.
Do you remember Anthony Robles? Yeah, Tom had him come out and speak at one of the events. We got to meet him.
Yeah.
Incredible inspirational story of, like, dedication and not taking what God gave you to feel bad about yourself, but make yourself stronger, and just a great story there.
Yeah, the movie was really beautiful, and I'm so happy he got a chance to.
Was he happy with the movie and the way it turned out and everything?
Yeah. I mean, he's
I thought it was
aware.
great, yeah.
He's aware that
What's the movie called? I forget.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
Yeah, and he's aware that they had to write it for actual Hollywood, which is understandable.
Oh yeah, you have to have some drama in this story to it.
But they eliminated quite a few things from the story, including like his actual coach that brought him on in college, which was Tom Ortiz, and who's like a brother to me, But again, you can't, for continuity's sake, and the actor who played his coach was an amazing guy. I think it starts with a C. I can't remember his last name, but anyway, so for continuity, they got to have one actor kind of going through his whole career to make it easier for the movie to be shot and for you to fall in love with both the coach and the wrestler. And so, but he's just so happy because the message got out to so many people. And he's a very amazing speaker. He's an amazing soul, and I was blessed to be able to work with him early on in his career. And then between his junior and senior year, he came into my office, and this is in the book, so I can share this. So and just said, he's like, I'm done. And so we had a really great conversation about just the simple facts. Like, wait a minute. So, okay. And I understand all the reasons why he said he was done. Like, so what you're saying is you were born with one leg. You've defied all the odds. You've done all these things, and you're going to let this be the thing that stops you. It wasn't your leg. It wasn't all the other people. It wasn't all the other things. So this is your point where you're like, I'm done. And he sat there real quiet. And it gives me emotional still thinking about it, because he took a deep breath in. He's like, you're right. And so I said, okay, are you done giving away your power? And we do that a lot as people. We give away our power to a lot of things and a lot of people. And so he's like, yes. I'm like, all right, so we're going to get back consistent. You're going to do X, Y, Z things, and we're going to work consistently. And I was just a piece of the puzzle, of course, because he had a lot of great things happen to him, to be undefeated and to be a national champion, to win 2 ESPYs, to do the things that he did was amazing. I was just really happy to be a piece of that. And but yeah, that's just one of many pro athletes, Olympians, gold medalists.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty cool to be on this. I spoke at Madison Square Garden.
With several of my friends, and not all of them are in real estate. You
know,
and it's like, the reality is people need to realize, like, business coaching, mental coaching, whatever coaching you're seeking, you have to understand that, like, you have to go into it with an intention, be clear on that intention. You're really good at pulling it out of me, because I have like 7, so we're like, let's just focus on 2 today.
Yeah.
But and then you have to follow through, and you have to have accountability. And I think that's the hard thing with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I joke around, and I think I've said this on the podcast, but I have like checks for $10,000 made out to ex-brokers or ex-wives or ex-partners in real estate that are what I call my accountability checks when I'm trying to get stuff done with agents. And I'm like, look, if you're going to take up this much of my time, like, I know what my time's worth per hour, okay? Like, and I'm giving it to you, right? Like, I need accountability on your part of, like, if you don't get X, Y, and Z done, like, I'm mailing this check to your ex-wife. It says $10,000. I feel like you needed this more than I do. Like, have them actually send me the envelope and everything with a stamp. I did it with coaching clients back in the Tom Ferry days. Yeah. Like you have to have extreme accountability to get some people motivated. But then when they get in their pattern of like eating a certain way, working out these specific days, your body just changes. Like, you almost crave it, and it's like, I feel like I could be doing a lot better on social media. Maybe I should add that to the list of goals for 2026. But that said, it's just like, I'm great at targeting past clients here, touching base with them. But like Chrissy from my team, I don't know if you ever follow her. You and I have talked about her because she's been my right-hand person for so long. Like, she just talks to the camera, and she gets so much business from her kids' private school. And I mean, she's had one of her best years ever this year also. Fry from my team, you know, super engaged. He's had one of his best years ever also.
Yeah.
And I know these people closely because they're on our team. We talk all the time. So
Yeah.
that said, you know, it's just like making those changes in their life. It's so vitally important. And I know we're coming up on an hour here, but, you know, like super grateful to you, all the conversations we've had, not all on business. So there's still some unresolved things, but it doesn't take much of my power away.
Yeah.
I don't allow it anymore.
Yeah. I think for anyone listening to understand how much the humanness in all of us can pull us out of our greatness. And I say it because when I started this process personally, I was a mess in every category of my life. I was arrogant. I had anger and rage. I had dysfunction financially, physically, all the things. And I was just looking to, well, at first I wasn't looking, but once someone just kind of pointed this out to me and gave me a start to this process, then I was looking, how do I take my power back from my own programming? And then from society's programming, because society says this, and my home programming based on my childhood says this. And everybody goes through that. I wake up every day, and if I'm not still today countering those things, they will come back. It's kind of like working out. You can work out for 20 years. You stop working out, your muscles are going to become less and less strength. And so same with cardio, same with the language. You can learn a language, and then if you don't use it, you will lose it. It's the same with this greatness. Every day I wake up, and I have a lot of work to still do. I still have things that can own me, being impatient or feeling this like edge that I can feel at times. And when I feel those things, I have to really work on countering it. Sometimes scarcity and lack still come in. It doesn't make sense. There's nothing logical in my life right now that justifies scarcity or lack, but it's part of my childhood programming. And so it sure enough still comes in, and it knocks at the door, and I have a choice every day to let it in and let it own the show, or to say thank you for reminding me to counter and to show up this way. This is just for my personal life. And I'm not always winning that battle in various ways. I'm just not. And so the reason why I do all the things I do is to continue to give me more momentum on the greatness side than I have on the human side. Because if I stop, my humanness is way too strong. I was a battler for a long time. I was a warrior. I was angry for a long time. That anger started when I was a little kid. So if I don't choose this, on any given day, my humanness will choose for me. And I don't want to let that happen. And it will never go away in all of us, in any of us. And society doesn't ever stop. And so if you're somebody out there and you're not countering every day, one, and two, if you don't have somebody holding a space for you to give you good understanding of how your actual brain is firing, that's really what I do with people. It's not just positive affirmations, or I'm actually talking to people and breaking down how their brain is firing and how it's working for them or against them. And then at the end of that, we're working on the rewiring, and that's through the visualization, the brain training, and those are recorded, and then someone gets to wake up the next day and listen to the recording and start to work on, actually, that's the mental workout where they start training their brain the way they want it to be, to counter a lifetime of emotions or hitches or glitches in their own programming. That's what I have to do every single day. And there's days I get up and I don't even want to do my brain training. I'm just like, I don't have time or this. But then I'm like, no, like this is, I got to do this. And for me today, it was making sure that I was programming micro decisions on how I chose to drive, what speed I chose to drive. That was part of my visualization this morning. Like, how do I want to feel when I'm driving here? And then also, how do I want to feel here while I'm here with you guys? What emotions do I want to feel? The calm, the love, the just trust in myself. Those are the three things. And then driving home, I visualize that. I have clients this afternoon. I'm just working on how do I want to show up. And then when the curveballs come, none came this morning yet. Maybe some on the drive home, whether it's people or whatever. That's it. So for people out there, it does take that much focus, because if you don't choose to own the inner story, the inner programming, it's going to be chosen for you based off of a childhood, based off of the world out there.
Yep. That's a great summary.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it really comes down to the consistency of it, right? It's making those decisions every day.
Yeah. And then even like evaluating, hey, where can I do a little more work? Like you had mentioned that it takes the front brain or the RAM of the
yeah, we had a little
brain.
conversation off camera. It's like if my brain is a computer, I have a huge hard drive but not a lot of RAM.
Yeah.
So like I can focus on one thing at a time, and when I can't complete that item, it bothers me so much so that it's hard to focus on another item because I'm constantly thinking about this item. Like if I'm working on a software and it's like, and I'm stuck in a place, like even though I need to go out and maybe help a team member with something, I'm constantly thinking about how do I get this spot unstuck, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, frontal brain or whatever.
Yeah, the prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, or like, I'm like, it'll come to me in 3 minutes, and then it freaking does.
Yeah.
And then I got to call a lot of people back.
A lot of that just comes from having so much. I tell people it's like having a table at the library and you get a book out.
Yeah.
And then you get another book out. And then you get another. And all of a sudden you have 40 books on the table and it can only hold like 10.
Yeah.
And they're all stacked up now. And now I ask you about that one book. You're like, hold on, wait a second. And then it takes you extra time to kind of shuffle through versus being able to quickly throw stuff into the back brain or even out in technology on a note, on a paper, on a to-do list or whatever. And your front brain just has too many books on the metaphorical table, so to speak. And part of that can be just training to how to do two things. One, either throw it on a reserve space using technology outside, or to learn how to drive it back and be able to access it. And if you have less on the table, you can reduce that quite a bit.
The funny thing is, Al, like with AI and science and technology, I don't know that we're that many years away from me plugging a USB drive in there, just having a backup right here that I can access at any given time.
Well, and until then,
sci-fi in there, right? Like,
until that time,
dude. I mean, like our world is going to change so amazingly. I know a couple of people need to have some calls with you around this, but with AI, tech, all that stuff, I'm a big geek about this. So 14.2.2 came out for Tesla. That's like full self-driving. So I'm like, I had to try it. So I go to my neighbor's house. She's like, no, I didn't pay for it. So then I texted Tesla, and then I'm like, can I take out like a Model S? And they're like, yeah, just come down. We'll give it to you for an hour to drive it and try it and everything. And I like literally got in this car. You'll love this. Like in the parking lot. So we just it was in Tempe, and they're like, let's just go to the aquarium and find a parking spot. The kids' aquarium on the 101 or whatever. Yeah. Never been in there, but now I've been in their parking lot. I hit start. This freaking car pulled out of the parking spot, navigated perfectly, drove on the freeway, drove exactly how I did, going 85 into 75, right? Like, I mean, I've had it on aggressive mode, but but that said, it's like, and then it pulled into the aquarium, encircled one parking lot, identified the other parking lot, and finally found a spot because apparently the aquarium was pretty popular over the holidays. And it just blew me away that this car essentially acted like a Waymo, but it could be my car.
Yeah. AI is a really interesting topic. What I see happening right now in the initial stages is people letting AI be the originator of thoughts and ideas. And I leverage AI. There's a video I just did, and people were complimenting me on my Christmas sweater, and I was standing next to a cactus, and I had a quote there. And literally, I just took an image of me, and I use Gemini because they don't.
Yeah, they're the best.
They don't sell your data either. I mean, they say so, and they don't use it to train their AI. So when you put your picture in to ChatGPT, they get to now own your image, own your likeness.
Part of their LLM.
Yes, but Gemini, Google, they say they don't. And I say that with asterisks because that's what they say. Who knows what's really happening?
Nothing's ever going to be private in the future.
Right. But so I just threw my picture in and I said, hey, make a picture of me standing next to a cactus, Christmas sweater, so on and so forth. And then I put the quote in on top of that. And then I put the quote in, and then I said, okay, put a little snow on the quote. And then a little snow on the quote. And then I took it and I switched to video mode, the VO3, and I said, "Hey, animate this for me. How I'm standing there, make it a little bit, like a little breeze, and then have my hands go from by my side to hands in my pocket." And then it did that, but all of it started from me, and I just have it be an assistant, so to speak, to what I can see in my vision. And where people are like, "Hey, what should I say in this message? What should I do here? What's my social media plan? Like, I'm an agent, I do this." And they start to lose their voice, or they lose their own power of generation. And it's just like anything else. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I'm seeing a lot of people being even less creative now because they're letting AI be that creation for them versus just leveraging AI to bring out what you create in your head. And so people have complimented that. That's an amazing sweater. The sweater was cool. It had a coyote and a cactus. And I'm like, but none of it's real.
Yeah, that's going to be, that's one of my biggest fears, even for my kids in the future, of like using AI in the right way. I remember Warner couldn't get some like controller module that connects his headphones and his two controllers to connect to his Xbox, and immediately the default's like, "Dad, like I can't figure this out." And I'm like, "Okay, well, all right, let's bring up Gemini. Let's take a picture of the controller, tell it the problem, and let's start diagnosing it, working through it." And it's like, and you can set parental controls on Gemini for your kids. So it started breaking down the problem. Like, it's never going to be designed to help them do their homework, but it'll help break down the problem. Yeah. Because Avery's now in I think she's taking like junior level classes, even though she's a freshman, for like math. Like, I can't answer those questions. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know them. Like, I need to take a picture of the question and have it broken down. But like, in some ways it's going to help, or I think of like programming and coding and stuff, like the fact that I don't need to lean on as many developers now. It's great there because my mind is racing and thinking, but then also I can see how you can get really lazy because you punch out an email that's just your basic thoughts and then it can polish it for you. Like, what was that movie we were joking about that, where it's like this guy wakes up in a capsule, it's 30 years in the future, AI is taking over, and the whole human race is completely dumb.
Well, you've seen those documentaries, right? Terminator 1, 2, 3. Those are documentaries. They're not actual movies. I don't know what people are thinking. And it's just like, I'm watching all this going, why are we like, don't you see the documentaries? But no, you're right. And again, here's how it'll, and we talk about micro things happening, micro adjustments, micro decisions, good or bad, right or wrong. If you're playing in those spaces, I just say honoring or not honoring. Micro decisions that honor you or don't honor you. How easy it is for micro decisions that don't honor you to kind of just happen is it's the slow adjustment, micro adjustments of acceptability. Oh, well, like in the beginning you say, "Hey, here's what I want the email to be like. Mm-hmm. And here's the basic thing I want to say." And then it spits it out. And in the beginning, you're like, no, I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like that. And then they maybe change it. And then the next time they say it, and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to accept this a little more, and then a little more. And they don't mean to lose their voice. They don't mean to lose the essence of who they are in this business. But over time, the micro adjustments, it's micro acceptance of somebody else. Okay, fine. I'll just let that be like what I say. And then all of a sudden you stop. You don't even realize it, but you stop. And it's people who drink, same thing. They stop drinking, and then I'll just have one. And it's a micro decision that leads to micro acceptance or micro adjustment. And then they go, okay, well, this weekend's this thing. Let me just have one this weekend and another one. The 2 events, 2 days in a row. I'll just, And then all of a sudden they're drinking every day again. And that literally is how that works. Because micro decisions lead to micro adjustments that lead to micro acceptance. And then, a week, a month, a year down the road, you're like so far away from who you ever meant to be. So
easy to look back and say, how did we get here?
Yeah. And that's where AI can so easily slip in and become someone's voice.
The idea is don't let it be a crutch.
Yeah.
Let it be an auxiliary to help you.
Yeah. Be the originator and let it be that tool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we want to cover today? I mean, Matt, we didn't even ask Al one single question. We had the whole podcast. It just flowed. Right?
Yeah, no.
Like, so Al, how do people get in touch with you? Maybe your email, phone number, Instagram, whatever you're willing to share.
Yeah. My phone number,
questions.
I get hackers all the time, so I'm happy to share my phone number. Everyone has it anyway. That shouldn't. So it's 602-558-9000, 602-558-9000. My Instagram is a great way too. It's kind of the online. If you follow me, it's at the.alfuentes, because Alfuentes was taken. So it's at the.alfuentes. And I love people to follow me. I like following people. I will engage with people on DMs as well, so people reach out to me that way too. But you can text me. That's the best form. I don't even share my email. I get so many emails in a day that I just text or DM me on Instagram. Those are the two best ways to reach out to me. And I have a website, alfuentes.com. It has some free guided visualizations or brain trainings on there. It has some cool content. It has a bunch of testimonials I built this website in 2013 and people still love it today. Someone just gave me a compliment on it. But
it's a great website.
I personally built it back then in a coffee shop in LA. But yeah, it's great. It's got a lot of great stuff on it. And so you can go there. Those are the main ways.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And we're excited. You're going to be one of the hosts of our RETSY Roundup.
Yeah, I'm
got
honored.
some big plans for that. And I know you and I will chat offline on some of the stuff we're going to work on. But like, you talked to them when they went into the penalty box. Now they're out of the penalty box. Like, how do they get out there and like crush it in 2026?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate your time.
I appreciate it.
That wraps up this week's episode of the RETSY podcast. Thanks for listening. Check out the show notes to connect with Al. If you enjoyed today's episode, take a moment to leave us a review wherever you listen to this podcast, and please subscribe so you never miss what's next. Next week, Chris and Matt are checking in on your 2026 business planning. Here's a sneak preview.
Part of prospecting is just being a good human and like checking in with people. My past clients love it when I check in. How are the kids doing? Oh, they switched schools. I heard great things about that schools. Or, oh, you got this promotion, or you took over this division. That's awesome. And it always kind of leads to a conversation of like top of mind. So the next thing you know, magically 2 days later, I get a referral from a partner in a law firm for a new paralegal that just joined and is moving here, right? And it's just like, it would just happen over and over. That's one scenario, right?